Hey guys, Ken Azura here. I'm going to be bringing you a basic tutorial of my thoughts on a basic PVE slash PvP fitting tutorial here. So let's jump right into it. It's going to be my thought process. It's already built. I'm just going to pretty much back brief you guys on how I came up with this fit, okay? So we're going to start up here and we're going to work our way all around, okay? And now, first things first, while you're fitting your ship, you really want to take into considerations what you're going to be doing with this ship, okay? And when you basically get your ship, you want to look at the traits here, okay? Characteristics is say armor, combat, it has hybrid turrets, and small modules. And then the bonus is 7.5, armor repair 5% to small hybrid turret damage. Now, all this you need to take into consideration when you build your ship. Build your ship around these, okay? Build it around that. You can't go wrong if you build around all the traits there. Now, we're gonna go into our turrets here. I chose a short range fit to get up close, get up in their face, and deal as much damage I can. Okay, so I went with the hybrid blasters here. Now let's go dive a little deeper here. Okay, so high slots, to turrets, hybrid turrets, and small. And you can look at all these, right? All these choices. Why did I choose this one here? Okay, so these three are the base ones, and they branch off into all these. So show info. I'm looking for damage, right? I want the maximum amount of damage on this ship. So I looked for damage modifier 1.8. Okay. Next one 2.9, 3.6. Alright, 3.6. This is the one I want. Oh, at least I was thinking that. Now I went to variations next, right? This is all the other possibilities within this line. So the T1, this is the very beginnings of it. And go down here. You really want to use this as a guideline for you. So this is the very basic one all the way down to the most advanced ones. And going all the way down might not always be the very best, so just double check your data here, and that's what we're going to do. So again, here's what we have for the very bare bones T1 3.6, okay, or 3.7, regulated 3.8, okay, 4.0, where are we at? Limited, a node 4.2, and 4.4. So I slap those on there. Those are the best, or the most damage I can have. And there you go. That's how I chose. And then we're going to go ahead and put some ammunition on here. Okay. Let's give us some stats on the board to see what we're working with. Now, I chose antimatter just now because I know right off the bat, right off the top, antimatter does the most damage. Okay. You can fiddle around. Look at your distance for each one, okay. Look at the damage. Same thing. Distance, damage, distance, damage, distance, and damage. And figure out what works best for you. Now, I want damage, so, and I know it's antimatter. Now, the trade-off with damage here is range. As you can see, I have to be really close within that optimal range window to have these effects. So, that being said, the Galente blasters have the most DPS in the game, turret-wise. So, if you really want damage, blasters all the way. Okay. After I picked that, we went to our medium slots. Okay, medium slots are naturally for your utility slots, as well as shield tanked ships. They will be medium slot heavy, armor tank ships will be low slot heavy. Okay. As you can see, 3 versus 4. That's how you can easily tell if, of course, not by looking at the characteristics page, and by looking at the base. I'll keep that on. So this is the base, or yeah, this is the base here. So 500 and 579. Just by looking at that raw base data here, we know that armor's more, so naturally it should be an armor fit. We're enabling modules here. So this is a PvP fit. I put the Warp Scrambler on there, so let me tell you the difference, right? Because I don't know if you've encountered them before, but they do 2 separate things. So the Scrambler will disable your navigation for warp. Now, there's a Warp Scrambler, and then there is the Warp Disruptor. So Scramblers, show you the data here. Now, the range at 7,500 meters, as well as Warp Core or Warp Scramble Strength 2, and disrupts target's navigation computer, disabling warping, jumping, Microwarp drives, and micro jump drives. Now, I do have a Microwarp drive on here, so if somebody had a Scrambler and they attached it to me, then if I had the Microwarp drive online and running, it would be turned off. It will not be disabled, it will just be turned off, and even if no matter how many times I click that button, as long as they're attached to me, I cannot use it. Okay. Whereas the Warp Disruptor, let's take a look at that. Let's use the J5 variant. Okay. Attributes, it goes out to 20k, has a Warp Scramble Strength of 1. Go on to the description. Disrupts the target's ship's navigation computer, which prevents from warping. So only warp, it will hold them there. They can't warp out, but they can still use their Microwarp drive. Keep that in mind. Now, this being a close range build, I want to get there quickly and scramble them. Okay, I don't want to, if I'm using the Afterburner, it's going to be really slow and painful for me to get there, especially if they're a faster ship. I might just end up running away, warping off, because they're going to catch me, and I'm just going to be sitting there trying to catch them whilst they're orbiting me at 15k or 20k, and I don't want that. So I put the Microwarp drive to just try to crash into them and try to dish out my damage as fast as possible. So naturally, your short range ships are going to have scramblers, and your long range ships are going to have disruptors, right? Playing the keep away game from the short range guy. Now, the difference between the Microwarp drive and the Afterburner is much slower. So as you can see, our data here, while it's online, it goes to 3k for us, our velocity. Now, if I put on the Afterburner, it goes down to 1k. Ew, not that fast. I mean, it's fast, but not that fast. The Afterburner uses less capacitor, as well as it also the ramp up time to get up to that max speed takes a while for you to get up to that speed. Then the Microwarp drive, it costs you more cap and ramps up to speed very quickly. But the Microwarp drive can get turned off, the Afterburner cannot. So you really have to pick your poison there. So mine was the Microwarp drive because, like I said, I want to get to my enemy very quickly to start dishing out the damage. For my medium slot would be your utility slot. You can put on a bunch of other things there. This whole selection, okay? This whole selection. But keep in mind, electronic warfare, yes, You can put a ECM on there, making them disable the lock on that individual. But I don't have any bonuses for that. ECM burst, same thing, no bonuses, and blah blah blah. However, some of these have a really good trade-off, even just for the slot itself. Just like the Stasis Web of Fire, whilst in that 10k range, it reduces their velocity by 60%. Or if I use the T1 version, negative 55 and 10k. So that's really great. In itself, that's a really good trade-off for me. I'd use that, or I could use more cap, getting myself more stable whilst this is actually offline. And this is properly loaded. Let me show you here. No, it doesn't really matter. But for that one, yeah, as you can see, 1 minute 21 seconds. So when I'll fully run out of cap. Whilst not using it, we are stable. Which 1 minute I'm good for. Probably won't have a 1 minute long battle with this ship anyways. Unless it comes really close. But I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. But like I said, pick your poison, how you want to fit your ship, if you want it stable or not. Stable ships are not always the best way to go. As long as you can manage your cap properly, you'll be good to go. And managing cap will deal with your skills as well as your mechanics and knowing your ship and the recharge and all that jazz. That's more advanced stuff. We're just doing the basics today. But for me, I chose the cap recharger to give me that cap recharge there. You can go ahead and look at all the other options available to you, but keep in mind of the trade-offs. And remember, every slot on your ship is valuable. Every slot. So just keep that in mind when you're making these fits. Don't make it very utility heavy, because that may kill you. Don't be the jack of all trades in your ship. Like I said in the beginning, have that role in mind, what you want to do in this ship, and build it off of that. Just like my turrets here, I could have put 1 long range and then 2 short range. No, you want to maximize your efficiency at one thing. Don't try to be the jack of all trades, because no bueno. It's not good. All the metagame meta level fits are going to be based on one thing and one thing alone. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I chose the cap recharger here for my utility slot. That was free. Next, we're going to go on our low slots. And again, like I said before, our low slots are mainly for armor. So as you can see, we have armor related items such as the 100 rolled plates, the energized membrane, and the armor ancillary armor repair. So the damage control. The damage control is very crucial to every PVE and PvP fit. It gives you bonuses across the board, as you can see here, across the board on all 3 levels of EHP. Or HP, sorry. That being your shield, armor, hull. Very crucial. And should be a hard slot for all your fits. Because the bonuses are great, right? Across the board, can't get better than that. Whereas if I just use the regular membrane, layered energized membrane here, it just gives me a little more armor there. But whereas it gives me all 3. Great trade-off for that slot. And so we have the rolled. Again, for the rolled, I pretty much just went like how we did with the guns here. Chose the bottommost one, tossed it in. Again, going down the list here, the bottommost option naturally has the best resources available to you, right? So take that off, and we'll put the standard 100 3.3 and 4.9, 5.3 and 5.9, as well as I believe it gives me a little more EHP. Not too much, but a little more, I think. So we're sitting at 1045. Throw this on 970. So yep, it was correct. And then as for this one, so you can, right? You can use a regular armor repair, which does not utilize any charge. So as you can see here, 153 HP per 4.5 seconds. It's not too bad. Overheated 1.5 at 3.8. Not too bad, sitting at 41.2 HP a second. We'll take that off and we will put our ancillary back on there. So it uses the nanite paste per charge. So I'm setting at 303.45 seconds per rep. Okay. Oh, I can overheat it. Brings us up to 311 at 308, and brings us up to 81.4 HP a second, which is nearly what, almost double. Or yeah, than our last than just using the regular one. However, when you use ancillary type items, there's an ancillary version for shields. The reload for this is 60 seconds. As you can see, 60 seconds. That's a while. So once your 8 charges are up, it's gonna reload and it's gonna take 60 seconds for you to get back that repairing capability. So this is basically a fit where you go in, dish out as much damage as you can, and hope to come out on top whilst repairing rapidly and pretty heftily at 311 per rep. So that's what I chose for this fit. That's how I would run it personally. Yep, that's it for the low slots and the rig slots. So let's show some info on here. So the first thing on the description, penalty using more than one type of this module or similar modules that affect the same attribute on the ship will be penalized. So I have 3 of them. So I'm being penalized right now because I have more than one. And here I have the chart pulled up for you already and just for you to see. And here it is. So right now we're sitting at 57.1 effectiveness. So it'll go, yeah, 180 or 87%, 57. Okay. That doesn't mean 77 or 57.1 effectiveness overall, but it's just for that individual rig slot. And then of course then it'll scale to whatever module it affects and whatnot. So for me, I chose the Spell Ancillary Nano Pump, which gives me 15% bonus, repair bonus. And yeah, it gives me those pretty decent numbers. And I'm pretty down for that. Now, let's go over your regular fitting, like your general view here. Now, as you can see, we're depleting in 1 minute and 21 seconds. Make sure you take into consideration how you're going to fight in battle, right? So if you have this green and you haven't really noticed, you're like, oh man, I can only last 40 seconds with my fit. Just make sure you're really cognizant of what is actually active on your viewing during your fitting, and just make sure it's selected off, because you're not going to have it running the whole time, as you shouldn't, or it's going to be speeding around your target and wasting cap when you don't need it. And cap is very crucial in any fight. And if it's PVE, of course, we're going to turn that off. Brings up to 130. And we may or may not have this on the whole time. So we're stable. Having this on, stable. Okay. And then, of course, overheating your modules, you'll be able to see some, if any, effects. Okay. Now, one more tip for you guys. So heating up your modules affects the modules next to them. So if I overheat this, it'll affect this module and this module. So be cognizant of where the modules are. So what I like to do, I like to flip them. Or so if it's like this, probably move it over, put it there. That way when I use my Microwarp drive and I overheat it, it'll just heat this cab recharger and not the Scrambler. But if I heat them both up at the same time, it'll do double the damage to the cab recharger. Same thing with this, it's just the energized membrane and not, if it were here, it'd be the damage control and the membrane if it was in the membrane slot. Just again, be cognizant of where these modules are located if you are going to be overheating them. And of course for the turrets, they're all going to be heated, and just really watch your turrets overheating. You'll see the damage being applied. Like it'll be like this. It'd be like 5% damage, and you'll see a red bar go across like this. It'll be red. So you'll be able to visually see, or you can just hover over it, whatever is best for you. Just make sure you're monitoring all your modules while in battle. Because once you burn it out, you cannot use it. But even if it's at 99%, you're good to go. It'll be perfectly fine. When they are damaged like that, when they're burned, they do no less damage, nothing else like that. But once it's burned out, then you're done for. Then you have to go back to the station, repair the module, and put it back online. Don't forget that. Okay, we'll make our stuff back to active again. Now, another quick tip for you guys. I know in EVE Online they don't teach you splitting, but when you make a good fit and you're making it for you or you're making it for somebody, it's always good to make sure it's loaded out properly. Okay, so when they go to buy this fit, they're like, oh, I don't have any ammo. I don't have any spare ammo in here. I forgot to get it. Just do it for them, right? So just hold left click, right? Hold left click, hold shift, come down to wherever you're going to shop it, release the left click, and now you have split the stack and are able to put in a quantity. Bang. And to finish it up for a little more DPS, we're just going to put in a hobgoblin there for us. Gives some more DPS. And then we'll do our ancillary. Put 50. Sure. And bang. Now you have a fully complete fit, save for the corporation. And bang, right? Everything they need. The full layout here, as well as modules, the drones in there. So if anybody wants to buy the fit, go to the corporation window, go to frigate, Galente, boom, curses. And there it is. Also, one thing to note, there's sometimes the fit will alter itself. Let's see if it'll do it here. It did not. But just know sometimes if you link your fit, sometimes the modules will get swapped around, so it might end up looking like I don't know if it'll move it. There you go. It might end up looking like this, right? That's not how you had it, but sometimes when the simulated fit like configures itself, sometimes it'll move the modules around. So just keep in mind when you do use the fits, make sure you relook at them because they're not always perfect. I like how you set them up. Sometimes they will flip-flop some of the modules around. But that is it. That's your basic fit and how you should think about basically the thought process when you are making your fit. Now in the future, if you have any questions or if you don't know how to fit a ship or anything like that, feel free to contact me, Ken Azura. I'll give you the whole layout. Okay, I'm gonna give you the whole fit and exactly how to play it. Pretty much a step-by-step type process for you guys. Or you can even say simply, hey Ken, I need this fit long range. I'll just draft it up for you. Send it your way, see if you like it. Make any refinements if you need any. But I'm here to help. Here to help you guys develop yourselves, develop your fits, because once we get up to the big boys like the battle cruisers and battleships, your fitting is crucial once you get up to that level and you're running missions or definitely doing PvP, because they're two separate beasts, and your ship has to be perfect for PvP because everybody else's fit will be perfect. I promise you. So if you have any other questions or anything like that, feel free to in-game convo me or mail me what you got. Anyways, this has been Kenazura. Thank you for listening in and watching. Catch you later.